Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's Diego, your international video producer here in beautiful Bogota, Colombia. Now, this video is about earthquakes in Colombia. Yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on July 8th, 2022, two earthquakes in a row shook Colombia, registering in Santander and Quindío. So come along with us as we explain earthquakes to you here in Colombia.
1, 2, 3,
4. On July 8th, yesterday, 2022, at 10:45 a.m. and 11:40 a.m. local time in Colombia, a 2.9 and a 3.6 magnitude earthquake at a depth of 30 kilometers shook the Santander and Quindío districts, according to locals. Local authorities have not reported any injuries at this time or material damage, but this has not been the case in the past. Ladies and gentlemen, Colombia is very seismically active. The whole country, except for probably on the far eastern part of Colombia. And the country has a huge seismic risk, ladies and gentlemen, in many areas, especially on the boundaries of the Malpelo, the frontier with Panama, the northern Andes, which is basically here in Bogota, and along the South American plates called the Pacific Ring of Fire. Now here in Bogota, which is the northern Andes, there are southeastern and extreme eastern parts of Colombia are not seismically active, ladies and gentlemen, as the rest of the country. Now, the very first historically registered earthquake felt in Colombia occurred on September 11th, 1530, as documented by Gonzalo Fernandez de Ovidio y Valdez at 10 a.m. Apparently, he was checking his time when he documented the first earthquake. With its epicenter was near Cumana, Venezuela. Now, the first documented earthquake with its epicenter in present-day Colombia took place in 1566 in Santander, the department of Cauca. Now, the most devastating earthquake in Colombia occurred on August 15th and August 16th, 1868, off the coast of Ecuador, which is bordering with Colombia, which killed 70,000 people. An 8.8 magnitude earthquake also occurred in Ecuador, on the border of Ecuador and Colombia, on the 31st of January, 1906. Now, following up with this, in San Francisco on April 18th, 1906, at 8:16 a.m., there was a devastating earthquake there. 10,000 people were also killed in 1875 when an earthquake struck Cúcuta, Colombia, on the border with Venezuela. Now, we've been to Cúcuta, and it seemed like a pretty quiet place to us. The 1785 Viceroyalty of New Granada, which is now Colombia, this was an earthquake which initiated the birth of journalism here in Colombia. And journalist Manuel del Socorro Rodriguez, a journalist, wrote the first story about the 1785 Viceroyalty of New Granada earthquake. Now here in Colombia, the main seismically active zone is the subduction zone of the Malpelo, okay, formerly called the Nazca Plate. It's a very strong earthquakes have hit here, causing damage in 1906, 1947, 1958, and 1979. Then the most active offshore region in the country where there is earthquake faults are located 419 miles underneath the Bucaramanga Santa Marta Fault. Okay, onshore, excuse me. So in Bucaramanga, we've been to Bucaramanga. That area right there is the most active onshore seismically active fault in Colombia. On March 1st, 2021 at 17:57 p.m., that's 5:57 p.m., Local time, a magnitude 5.1 earthquake hit the northern Andes in Antigua, killing 3 people. And on April 16, 2016, ladies and gentlemen, on the border of Ecuador and Colombia, 676 people were killed. On March 5th and 6th, 1987, ladies and gentlemen, 3 earthquakes struck Colombia and Ecuador right on the border, covering the northern Andes, killing over 4,000 people. Now, the chapel at Guadalupe here in Bogota has also been destroyed 4 times and rebuilt 5 times from earthquakes. Now check out our video on Guadalupe. If you've ever experienced an earthquake, let us know in the comments below. The latest earthquakes to hit Colombia were today, July 9th, 2022, and we'll post some information about that. So now you've got a brief understanding and a little history about earthquakes in Colombia. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you in Colombia. Or maybe we won't.